All right, guys, namaste. Top of the day, highest vibrations. It's your girl, Tears No Ease. Only threes for alignment. Yes, I always wanted to try some bangs, and they're kind of in my eyes, but I'm loving it. Listen, let me go get my mic and stuff. But I was like, I can't keep waiting. It's time to do a landscape style for you. I know there's a few call outs we had in the past of things and topics to talk about, so I want to get back into it. Right now, energetically on this timeline, whenever this message seems to find you, it is the time that this energy is ready to align with you. This is a time where this is like going back to the basics. Energetically, your source expression. Yes, we've been on this journey doing so much, but it's time to like dwindle back to the base of things. And so I think the best way to help get into the explanation of the base of things is talking about the higher self. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and get a cup of tea, and I'm probably going to go and change the scenery. But thank you for aligning. If you haven't yet, you go ahead and subscribe because these vibes are only going up. All right, hold on. Okay, here we are, much better. So, on this journey of life, and if you don't know, I am Tears, the holistic artist. But on this journey of life, we are going through the acts of life. We are going through this journey because sometimes we can have these detours, sometimes we can have roadblocks, obstacles. But you have to understand that if there's this higher power that created everything, right? At the end of the day, you didn't just wake up and say, you know what, I choose to exist. If there's something greater than yourself because it created you, then that means there is something supernatural that dwells within you because you was created by this energy. Now, I will break it down. Give me a second. Now, as far as respect of religion and different cultures, they call this energy different things. So when you're in alignment with me, Tears over here and Informal Matter 777, this higher power, I call it the source of all creation. So don't be offended if it's like, you know what, you didn't say Allah, you didn't say God. Well, you know what, I'm giving it a universal name so that no culture, no religion, no person can be tapped out of this alignment I want to bring to you. Okay, so here's the thing. At the beginning of time, you were created by something so spectacular, something so out of this world, so otherworldly. And because this energy created you, once again, it dwells within you. Now, granted, on the journey, we'll wake up from even our birth and we'll say, you know what? We got to go through this social structuralism. We have to go through this path because this is what I'm told. And so you'll go through this path, and it could have the flag like, oh, this will give you true abundance, this will give you happiness, but something within you just feels like it's not happening. That's because your path is not what they tell you. Your path is what you were created to do. And so I want to break down how to get into that energy. 1 second. Okay, we're good. I still want to sip this tea. Bear with me now. Well, I turned it down off the stove, so it's a little lukewarm. That's all right. That is all right. Usually, on the journey for the average person, it's going to be a few years until there's something that happens, a catalytic event that awakens this sense of knowing and this recognition of this power that dwells within us. And if it hasn't yet happened to you, maybe it has. So let me break it down. Oh, I keep saying that. Okay, let's try not to say that again. I want to use more words with purpose. So, this energy has created you. Different religions, different cultures call it different things. So, where do you go to master and know this energy? Do you go to the church? For those who don't go to the church, the religious people who go to the church is like, you are wrong because you don't go to the church. Other people of just that culture of environment. But I will say the church begins in the body first. The temple, your body is a temple, and there's ways that you can curate your body to be the perfect vessel to receive that recognition and that awareness of this higher power. But before that, this power dwells within you. A lot of times we're searching for these knowings of who we are. But I'll tell you, if you are able to just sit with yourself, know yourself solely, authentically, you'll find this higher power directly that dwells within you. Now, a lot of people on the journey question me how I know what I know. Well, years ago, during the Grand Awakening, I was in this state where I got tired of searching for things. I got tired of doing the job that they told me that was going to fulfill me. And I was like, no, no, like this stuff isn't working. Like, I know there's something greater for me. I know there's something grand for me. And I remember that day, I was so stressed out at my job. I prayed. I said, God, I know you built me for something awesome. Like, show me the path I'm good for. Show me the path I'm meant to be on, because I can't do this no more. Tell me why I went to work the next day. I was fired. And so we'll think that in our life things happen, they're just like out of the blue for no reason. But once again, there's a higher power that dwells within you. And so during that time, I automatically just naturally flowed into the state of nothingness. Like, okay, it started with the purge. I cried for days. I cried for like 10 days straight. I didn't eat for 10 days straight, but I wasn't aware of it. But what I will tell you, I made it to the point where my vessel became so empty of the burdens it held on to that I had nothing left to do but to sit with myself. And in that state of sitting with yourself, of knowing yourself, that is when this same energy that dwells within you, this creator that dwells within you, now has nothing holding it back from speaking to you directly. There's nothing holding back the connection. So, who are you without the material confinements? Who are you without the attachment to things? Like, every day we're putting things into our energy field. Every day we're listening to music, dwelling and dabbing into energy outside of ourselves. But if you were to truly sit with yourself, that is where you will find this higher power. And the thing is, like, this higher power that dwells within you, you'll know directly what this power has for you to do, what it wants for you to do. During that time, I know a lot of people, I've come across a lot of people, and so I'm always talking about this energy. I'm always talking about this enlightenment, and they'll talk about how, yeah, the first thing that's going to come is this forgiveness for yourself, and realizing, like, you know what, it's okay. Now, moving from this moment, I'm going to make the best of my life. I'm going to do the best of my life. And so it's like this power, yes, it created everything, but now you open up a dialogue with it right inside of yourself. But I'm kind of getting sidetracked, so let's talk from the beginning. So from your birth, there's a path, right? You could have grew up, you could have woke up, you was 4 years old and said, you know what, I want to be a dinosaur. I want to do this for myself. And in your heart, your mind, and your soul, you believe that you could do that. But then what happened? You're only 4 years old. You're going to have parents, guardians, people monitoring you. And so this is what we call social conditioning. It's like a society already has this mold in place, this plan in place to say what it is you're supposed to do for structural functionalism to, be here in the world. And so even at a young age, we can have these dreams that are vivid, that are wide, that are basically straight direction from our source expression. But then, social conditioning has its role of confining it, of containing it in the box and saying, you know what, Billy, you cannot be a dinosaur. You got to go to work. You got to go, do NASA, all the good stuff. You go, Billy, okay? And so as Billy is doing this, yes, from the moment Billy turned 4, something in his mind changed. A cage was placed over his mind. And he was like, you know what? I got to do this path I was told. And so this is our first encounter of the ego. Now the ego is a version of ourself that has been created to allow the vessel to be comfortable on this journey of life, right? They say you have to get a job, you have to work. So then your ego creates this persona that works because this is what we're told to do. So now years go by. Billy's like 21 years old. He forgot all about being a dinosaur after all these years. And now he's moving on his journey. He's still going. He meets the love of his life. She's going to the same college as him, all this stuff. And now one day, Billy, as he's working at NASA, he sees this dinosaur. He sees something, and it's so like catalytic that it ignites something, this adrenaline, so to say, in his mind. And he was like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. And so here's this thing. This ego is something that carries us to protect us on the journey. This ego is something that allows us to fit in with society. That's that social conditioning. And though we're fitting in with society, in our soul, we may not be at our ultimate fulfillment. And that's the thing. I know in this lifetime, and I believe wholeheartedly in this lifetime, that we are here to be the best version of ourselves, the version that this source has created us to be. Because at the same time, Billy's working at NASA, Billy's doing his thing. But what about all the competition Billy had to go through in the ego to get where he was? He fought battles that may not have even been worth it, because if his true passion is dinosaur, then what is he fighting for NASA for? What, because that's what they told him to do. That's what he was conditioned to do for the money. But I believe that 777, seven is that trust and inner guidance. This world is so chaotic, this world is so full of many things, even at this very moment that you're aligning. But the thing is, like, if everybody was in the path that was truly meant for them, that this creator has created them to be, so much peace would exist, because you are in your full fulfillment of your divine bag. So what is the higher self? There's two versions of ourselves. I'll call it the shadow, not because it's bad, but it's because it's the version that has been cloaked. It's the version that has been told, like, oh, this is the disguise of the ego you have to wear. Now the thing is, the higher self is going to have a beautiful ego too, but the higher self is going to be an ego, that Buddha, that individualized source collective consciousness that dives into basically your role into this higher spectrum of heaven on earth. Okay, bear with me now. Let me just take a deep breath. The higher self, if this creator has dwelt within you and created you, to tap into what this power has specifically for you through dialogue, through conversation, through meditation, through prayer, through many ways, then you'll realize that the role that you take on through the higher self has these capabilities that mimic, so to say, this energy of all-knowing source of all creation. In case no one told you, we all have gifts. And it's not about, oh, this person is more in tune and that's why their gifts are working. No, this person has already started their ascension, their alignment through their higher self, through mind, body, and soul alignment. And so when you do that for yourself, your gifts, they may not be the same, but the way that source that this God has created you to be, you will awaken into your God replica of this source expression, right? God is within her. She cannot fail. God is within thee. They cannot fail. So it's like this power. When certain things on the journey isn't working out, it's not because it's not supposed to work out. Sometimes it's a detour to derail you on the path that isn't serving at its highest anymore, so you can move towards the path that you're meant to be on. And so the journey gets the journey, and that's what I say here at Informal Matter 777. But it's because it's all this stuff to like fix our algorithm so we can return to source of who we are, or what our purpose is in this lifetime. Because where you're at right now, you could be upset and you're like, I'm just stressed out, I'm just stressed out, because there's somewhere else. Your 777 is a different path, and the path that you go into, the path that this source expression has created you to be, is something that you can't get enough of. Is you can do it at any type of shining in the weather, but whether I am the weatherman, you can do it at any part of the journey, at any part of where you are. But it doesn't deplete you, it doesn't defeat you, it lifts you up and give you this energy. It's like because you're tapping into source's energy. See, when you're in your higher self, you do not lack. When you're in your higher self, everything that is abundant for you finds you. But you need to have the courage to step into your higher self. So, higher self. If you were someone watching, you're like, well, Tears, how do I get to my higher self? The first thing I would say is, fasting allows for the barriers to fall that are in the way of your most authentic expression. We could have been, yes. Well, people eat meat, but I will say everything is energy, right? Everything is an expression of source. So if you are looking to dive into your most authentic source expression, you want to go places where source's expression thrives naturally, not artificially. So taking times to be in nature, just being around trees, which are ancient. They have so much ancient wisdom. They've been here for so long. And just to be in that presence of something that Source has created is going to envelop and encourage your source expression to come out. You ever been so stressed out by the outside world, by your job, but then you go and take a walk in nature and everything falls off? Yes, because everything that is not natural while you're in nature, it has to fall away, because now you are stepping into the grace of source. But source is within you. But if we're looking to unravel the source within you, this is what I would say. At the same time, we have other great things that Source has created that can help amplify and envelop your Source expression as well. Crystals. Crystals are rocks. They're rocks. Now you'll see jewelry, especially here at informalmatter777.com. You'll see jewelry that is showing you like, oh, okay, this is natural. And you're like, how can it be natural? Well, this same rock was, shaped all the good stuff, but it still holds ancient, holistic, natural tools. Here's the thing, even in our higher self, we have the ability to heal ourselves. We have the ability to rehabilitate ourselves and bring happiness, bring health, even when it comes to mental health and awareness within our mind. Because everything that's chaotic don't belong to us. But we took on so many paths when we was in this state of the shadow, when we were moving in the ego of what social conditioning told us to do, that we didn't allow ourselves to be in the path of our 777. Our path of our 777 is going to allow us to unravel of everything authentic. Our path of the 777 is going to allow us just to go into our path of blessings that no one else can take from us, because we were created specifically in our own individual way. And that is why that higher self ego is so beautiful. That is why the lower self ego, the shadow ego, it still holds so much power, because even in the shadow phase, even in the journey, when you're getting these obstacles and strengthening processes, it is building the momentum to remind you of who you are. Because you already know who you were from your birth. Even before you turned 7 years old, before you turned 9, you already knew. Source told you who you were. But it's about how things were piled upon you while you was moving up that ladder of your age and your growth and expansion, that you started to contain what was always divine within you. And so now, as the catalytic approach happens on the journey, I can't tell you exactly when, but usually it could be around 27, depending on what there's different factors to tell you about it. Like, I won't explain it now. Okay. Thanks to clear audience. I said thanks Jesus. But I can't tell you now, but there's different ways to explain yourself. Like, there is life path analysis, different things. But if I'm talking to just connect with that higher self from within you, you're going to want to be in an environment where the source dwells unapologetically. And nature is one of that. Now, granted, there might be people in nature, everybody's releasing what no longer positively serve, but at this point, nature is still doing its thing because the trees are a natural filter, just things like that. If you are choosing, okay, we're not going to do crystals yet, okay? If you are choosing to want to know more of connecting with yourself, I would recommend a good 21-day period of no meat, because if things have been created by source, let's not dive into what's happening with the meat right now, but think about that chicken real quick. Okay, halal can work, but if you just really want to tap into your authentic self, how about no meat for 21 days, just so you can hear your thoughts clearly without flesh taking place. Like, even in the Bible, we go back to those days, the Bible was like, don't be of flesh. So it's like, if you were to starve your flesh for a short period of time, spirit would talk directly to you. That Holy Ghost, that holy fire, all the good stuff. But ideally, that source expression, no matter what you call it, okay? So if you were to starve the flesh, that is the main thing. You starve the flesh. You stop feeding yourself things on TV that don't serve you, things that are messing with your mind, songs that said bang, 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 all the crazy things, and you allow yourself to be in that stillness, that wholesomeness for 21 days. You'll know exactly what your higher self has in store for you. But listen, I wanted to break this down in great detail, but I really haven't. Not yet, but this is the teaser to let you know we're about to get it going. Listen, the special number calling out to me today is 1818. This wind of change is coming. Go ahead and tap in. If you like this vibe and you're ready to dive more into it, let's like, comment, and subscribe. But I am Tears, the Holistic Artist. Until next alignment, namaste.